and Politics. And now, from the Breakfast Club, it's Marcus Davis.
What up, what up, what up? This is Marcus Davis, and welcome to Fish, Grits, and Politics. I am super excited about what we have in store for you on tonight. There's an African proverb that says, if you feed a man a fish, then you will feed him for that day. But if you teach that man how to fish, then you feed him for a lifetime. We live in a society where we are being spoon-fed on a daily basis junk that is not good for our system. Here at Fish, Grits, and Politics, we want to feed you information that nourishes your mind, your body, and your soul. It is my hope, my prayer, my plea that the information that you gain from Fish, Grits, and Politics, you will turn around after you digest it and share it with those that are around you, those that are in your community, in order to better yourself and to better your community. I am super excited again about the show we have in store for you on tonight. We have in the house an urban legend, not because he's a myth, but because he's a legend from the hood. And I am excited about this man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a beast in the boxing business. He's a mogul in the music business. He is a father. He is a man of principle. Tonight we have for you James Avery Prince. In addition to that, we're going to be joined by Chef Michelle Wallace. She's cooking up some great stuff over there for us. I can smell it right here, right now. And tying it all together, like nobody else can, is none other than Seven, the poet, the lyrical genius. He's going to come spit for us. So you sit back, you relax, share this hashtag, share this Facebook, share this hashtag, Fish, Grits, and Politics. Y'all ready? Set? Let's eat!
Fish, grits, and politics sure sound good to me. We can still break bread together even if you don't really agree. Oh, yes. So come in and take a seat. Oh, yes. Sit back and grab some. Oh, yes. Listen up, we got something to teach. Marcus is gonna blow your mind. Fish, grits, and politics sure sound good to me. Fish, grits, and politics. Come in, I'm sure you'll agree. Oh, yes.
All right. Give it to me. All right, welcome back to Fish, Grits, and Politics. Can y'all smell that? Can y'all smell that? Smells good, doesn't it? Yeah, we got Super Chef Michelle Wallace over there cooking up some great stuff for us. Michelle, tell us a little bit about what you got for us tonight.
An awesome seared red fish for you with a smoked peri-peri sauce and a black-eyed pea salad.
A black-eyed pea salad?
Yeah.
And peri-peri, y'all say peri-peri sauce?
Peri-peri.
Peri-peri. We're going to be saying that all night, peri-peri sauce. All right, it's now time to get to the meat of the program. As I stated before, I'm super excited about the guests that we have here tonight. He is a local legend. He's a national legend. He is an entrepreneur, and I am proud to say that he's been an inspiration to me personally, and I am more than excited to welcome to the stage right now the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, James Prince. My brother, welcome to Fish, Grits, and Politics. I got to tell you, it is an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to have you join us on the show.
And a pleasure and a privilege to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Look, I got to tell you something. It's really an honor to be sitting on the stage, sharing the stage with you, on the same level, right? Well, I mean, you still, up there, and I'm still, But look, I got to tell you a funny story. I had the privilege of meeting James about 20 years ago. I don't even know if you remember this, but we met this at your boxing arena through a man named one of your trainers, Ronnie Shields. You remember Ronnie?
Oh,
Yeah. So Ronnie introduced us. He connected us, and with the intent of doing a little business. I had a proposal, and the intent was to do a little business. So we talked a little bit. We chopped it up, and he said we're gonna get together. And I felt good. He said we're gonna get together, and then after that we moved to the next phase, which was setting a meeting. Here you go. Which was setting a meeting. And so we got this thing all worked out, right? And one night I'm sitting I was out at one of the clubs. I can't remember where it was, but I'm in the club, And all of a sudden, Rap-A-Lot comes into the building. And I don't know if y'all ever seen Rap-A-Lot come in the building, but when they come in the building, they come in the building. And so there was a whole lot of commotion going on. I was like, what's going on over there? They say, man, Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot in the building. And I jumped my little happy butt up like, Jay, no, that's my dude. We doing some business. And so I stroll on over there, and I get to him, and I said, hey, I want to go to... All of a sudden, I'm about 6 foot taller, right? Because I'm up in the air, and this dude that's like 8'9" is like, "What you want, little man?" And I said, "I want to talk to James." And he said, "Who are you?" "Tell him Miss Walker's from the Breakfast Club." So he leaned over like out of a movie. He leaned over and talked to one guy talked to the next guy, and he tells James it's Marcus from the Breakfast Club, and he said, "All right, tell him I get with him next week." I said, "Okay." Can I have my larynx back? But sure enough, a man of his word, we got together the next week and we chopped it up again, man. And, I'm happy that you're here. I'm thankful that you're here. But I got to tell you, most importantly, brother, I'm thankful for this book. Yeah. I am excited about you deciding to put your work and your words on paper, and I appreciate it. And I tell you why. I've been in business for 17 years. And as a veteran in business, I am still inspired by the work that you put here for us to share. So let's start by talking a little bit. And so tonight's conversation, I wanted to be about themes that I found within the book. Themes that I found are important in life, things that I found are important in business. And so I am hopeful that we'll be able to speak to the people that are out there that have dreams, that have goals, that have aspirations. And through this conversation, somehow, some way, they are led, they are fed, and they're ready to feed those that are around them. So let's start by the inspiration of the book. Obviously, it's your life. But what made you decide that it's time to put this on paper for everybody to hear and to see?
I believe readers are leaders. And I wanted to lead by example by sharing my story, my wisdom, my knowledge. People want to know what, when, where, how I was able to accomplish the things that I've accomplished in life. And in my book, I had opportunity to really share my formulas, my inspiration, even my spirituality, the things, the powers that I tapped into that was greater than the bondage that I was in certain situations.
You mentioned a couple of things in there that are things that I want to deal with. One of them is your spirituality. The one thing that I found to be super impressive about this book is really about you saying, I have a commitment that I made to a high power and a commitment that was made to me, and I'm honoring my commitment, and look at the fruit of what happens.
Yeah, most definitely. In one of the chapters, I wrote about my transition from the streets to corporate America. And, that transition happened based on answered prayer. It was, one time, in my life, I was in bondage. And I had what I call a small picture thinking mind, where I was chasing fast money. And, along that journey, my prayer was, Lord, before you take my freedom, before you take my life, give me a sign. So, when that transition in the closet, that was my sign, And it was a conviction that took place deep within inside of me where I knew it was my sign, All of this time, he's like, okay, you asked me for this. This is your sign. So it was then in that closet, in that chapter, that I decided to, walk away. And basically, I called myself having a conversation with God.
Right.
And I explained to him, Lord, I want to be blessed. I got a certain lifestyle that I like here.
And I want to get to that because you said walk away. Right. So for those who don't know or hadn't read, there may be this assumption, this impression that this was a layover, right? This was a mesh. What I learned and what I was most impressed with was you drew a line in the sand where you said, you know what? I am completely walking away from this. I'm walking away from the money I have. I'm walking away from the house I have. I'm walking away from the cars that I have, and I'm starting anew.
Yeah.
And you were not only committed to starting anew in a different life and a different lifestyle, but you were willing to sacrifice. Going from, and as I tell aspiring entrepreneurs, sacrifice is a big part of the game. If you're ready to sacrifice, then you're ready to play the game. If you're not ready to sacrifice, then you may not be ready to play. So you walked away from the 1950 Chevy as a luxury to the Astro van as a necessity. Talk about that.
Yeah, I walked away from a drop-top Mercedes-Benz
Right.
to an Astro van. And I walked away with a made-up mind because, you know, when you decide you're going to do something, it can't be 99% made up here because some way Satan have a way of testing that 1%. If you want to hold on to that 1% that can contaminate that 99, he have a way of putting that before you. So I walked away with a 100% made up mind, not knowing the sacrifices, not knowing the time, because in my mind, you know, I felt like within a year or 2 years, I'd be back on top. It was 7 years later before I made a profit where my company was concerned, but, you know, my faith didn't allow me to look back, and I'm like, I'm content where I'm at, and if you bless me with some more, that's cool. If not, I'm content.
So when you say your faith didn't let you walk away, does that mean your faith necessarily in your religion, or does that include your faith in what the promise was?
I think by far my religion, you know, that saved my life. The answer prayer, it saved my life. If I don't react and be obedient to my faith where God was concerned, then I wouldn't be sitting here today. So by far, that's at the top of the list. Now, I also had to have faith in my plan.
Right.
And I also had to have, you know, action wrapped around my plan.
So I created a quote for you. You can have it. I'm not going to charge you for it or nothing. But there's a quote where you said, I believe in miracles, but I don't wait on them.
Yeah.
I work to make them happen. Y'all say that again.
Yeah.
He said, I believe in miracles, but I don't wait on them. I work to make them happen.
Yeah.
And your subsequent statement was a scripture, which is faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
No, that's true. You know, you have to, some people call it goals. Some people call it dreams, you know, visions, whatever you may call it. That without action, you know, wrapped around it, without a plan, without execution, is just a dream. And we all know what happened when we dream. We just wake up in bed with nothing. Right? So that's the same way with faith without works. So my thing was I don't wait on that. You know, I wrap actions around my plans. And my actions is what, when, where, and how attached to the goals that I want to accomplish. And, you know, when you can answer the questions of the what, when, where, and how, it's going to give you clarity to accomplish every goal you want to accomplish.
You know, that was something that I found very interesting. You know, we got how much you believe in what you do. We got the level of sacrifice that's included in it. But that was one point in there that I found very interesting. And you said it was a changing moment for you. Aunt Teddy.
Yeah.
Right? Was a changing moment.
Yeah.
So Aunt Teddy is sitting having a conversation with your mother, I believe, and she's talking about her lights off. You have the money, and you're a kid at the time.
Yeah.
And you go get the money out the room, and you give it to Aunt Teddy to keep her lights on.
Right.
And you made a statement that says your giving is what defines you.
Yeah. Yeah. My Aunt Teddy, you said it best. You know, her light was off. I was a saver at the age of 8 years old. You know, my mother used to bring her tips home, and I used to save. You know, I just learned how to save. And after hearing my Aunt Teddy, you know, she was actually crying about her lights being off. I went and got my little bank, and I had enough in there to turn her lights on, and she made the statement that I was a peculiar child.
Right.
And I didn't know what that meant at the time, you know, a peculiar child. There was a seed, I remember the word for a long time, but make a long story short, she was right. It was something special about me. Even at the age of 8 years old, I was different from a lot of the kids that was my age, where saving money was concerned and making money.
Saving money, making money. But your statement was the transformative thing for me for you was the ability to give.
Yeah.
And I found that very important. And then you elaborated on that by talking about the shepherd being responsible for giving to the people that are around him.
Right.
I want to, because the book is layered with a number of different things, but that was one that just kept coming. You dealt a lot with a societal issue, and not giving excuses for the cats in the street, cats in the game, but you dealt a lot with a society that creates poverty and the results that come from that society. Dr. King had a saying that you can't judge the crime on the Jericho Road without assessing the Jericho Road itself, right, or the city of Jericho that produces this road. So let's talk about, and your sole plight for your work then and your work now was to lift your family from poverty.
Yeah. My whole motive was to break the poverty curse that I witnessed suffering and confusion and different things for years that existed in my family. And at the age of 8 or 9 years old, I vowed even to my grandmother, my mother, don't worry about that, Mom. I'm going to be the one to do something about this. So, even at that young age, that was like the force or the power, the energy that I tapped into to do everything. And it was so powerful, and I wanted to accomplish it so bad, I was willing to die to accomplish that. You know what I mean? Like give my life to be able to break that poverty curse where my family was concerned. It was on me just that strong. So, even in the midst of going down the wrong road with that attitude, eventually, I woke up. I woke up and realized that, okay, I need to not be about a moment but a movement, which consists of a longevity, a big picture, lifestyle. And once I embraced that, I was on fertile ground.
You know what? When you talk about small picture, big picture, one of the things that I held on to was this idea of, you made a statement that what I'm doing is not just an act. What I'm doing is not just an incident, but what I'm doing is creating a movement. And part of what I'm creating this movement for is, one, to show other people and to lift folks from oppression, but also you want to rep for your city.
Yeah, most definitely. Of course, I'm from Houston, Texas, but Fifth Ward, is like my heart. And, I believe that anybody that's successful in, the community that they are from, that's a place you should never abandon. I love the concept of, the food analogy that you give. And this is a soul food platform, where not only you come here and eat food that's good for your body, but soul food is for our soul. So we eating soul food on this platform. And, with that being said, I love to be a part of serving, soul food is concerned.
You know what? We're going to get to some soul food in just a minute. Y'all smell that? We're going to get to some soul food in just a minute. There are a lot of people out, that have goals, have desires, dreams. There are a lot of people that are watching, listening in the audience that are entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs. What say you? What do you share with folks who have that big dream, that big vision, in pursuit of being successful?
I mean, it's about a plan. It's about a plan. I mean, as simple as it sounds, if you never, execute these things, then you just have a dream. So it's about putting together a plan. And as I stated, the what, when, where, and how is a formula that, done wonders for me with every goal I tried to accomplish. Of course, I began all my goals with prayer because I feel like that's something that's free. You know what I mean? We all can execute that, and it's a power that's, is unexplainable. Right. So every goal I ever wanted to accomplish in life, I begun that way. And then I applied a plan. And then every day I woke up, I done something toward accomplishing that goal. I didn't do it on Monday, take off Tuesday. Yeah. No, all day, every day.
Prayer, plan, and put the work in.
Yeah.
I got one last one. We know you as James Prince, the boxing promoter, the music mogul, the entrepreneur extraordinaire. We know this James Prince. But a lot of folks don't know, and you mentioned this about an artist. If you see an artist that's on top, you can, for every year he's on top, you can imagine that he had a couple of years where he was struggling to get to the top. What people don't know about Fifth Ward James Prince is that you sold eggs from chickens that you raised.
Yeah.
You fixed lawnmowers, motorbikes, right? Yeah. Talk about and the reason I share that is because some people, they'll look and they'll see, oh, he's successful. What you don't know is not only I may have failed in this before, but there were other things that I did along the way to get to this point.
Right.
So from selling eggs from the chickens that you raised to learning to fix motorbikes, talk about that process and how each one builds for the next.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, it's true, a lot of people want your glory without knowing your story. Right. And my story consists of a lot of unpleasant events. Right. You know what I mean? Being from Fifth Ward, it's a lot of unpleasant things that took place to help and shape, and mold me into who I became. So yeah, I definitely sold eggs.
Y'all didn't know you raised chickens, did you?
I was a hunter. You know what I mean? I figured out a way to make money off of rabbits and birds.
And horses.
Yeah, I figured out, horses.
There's a story in the book.
Yeah.
Where, what kind of horse is it?
A Shetland pony.
There's a Shetland pony that he finds, right? That he takes back to our neighborhood, to Fifth Ward, right?
Yeah.
And he's charging $25 for a Shetland pony ride.
Yeah, around the house.
Around the house.
Now, I found this horse, at least I thought I found this horse in Acres Home. I was out at my cousin's place in Acres Home, and me being from the city, I'm not used to seeing no horse just run free in a lot of land. So I'm like, this horse is a free horse. So I walked the horse, we ran the horse down, I walked him back to my cousin, and I called my stepfather. I said, I found a horse. Can I bring him back to Fifth Ward?
And he said, you ain't find no horse.
You ain't found no horse, boy. Don't bring the horse back, right? So I figured out a way. My cousin had a van. And as I said, I saved money. So I had a little bank in my pocket. I'm like, hey, man, I'll pay you. We load the horse up in the back of this van and take him to Fifth Ward. So I took the horse back, and I, thought about carnivals, because I used to go to carnivals and I see people making money off of horses. So I took him back to Fifth Ward, charged 25 cents for a person to walk around the house. And I looked up and saw this green truck coming. That was my stepfather's truck. And I got the whooping of a lifetime.
All right. So, moral of the story is, before you get to the point where you are the music mogul, the beast in the boxing business, you may be a circus promoter. All right. This food is driving me crazy, man. We got to get something. You hungry?
Hey, man, I'm ready.
We got to get something to eat. I'm going to run over and I'm going to chat with Michelle in just a few minutes. And before we do, we got the lyrical genius that's going to spit for us. Y'all give it up for Seven, the poet.
I am black. Black like white Egyptian linen cloth worn by the pharaohs. Black like the white light of purity naturally embedded in my soul. Black like white Bible pages where my ancestors wrote. Black like the hull of a slave ship and we still didn't give up hope. Black like green forest, green jungle, and green grassland. Black like green gardens and pastures in the middle of desert sand. Black like Nubian kings and queens make up my black house. Black like those kings in the pyramids they still can't figure out I am black. Black on the back, black on the down, black on the upside, black like apartheid, black like that long boat ride, black like Mother Africa, black like her native son, black like they were too savage to build a nation, so we had to come and build them one. Black like we from different tribes couldn't communicate, so they did us wrong. Black like we got our thing together and started communicating through song. Black like long days in the field, constantly being beaten, hurt. Black like we never lost faith in God, so we started having church. Black like nowadays we got yellow bone babes, because back in the days that other woman's love wasn't good as them slaves. Black they gave us scraps from the table and we didn't complain instead. Black like they gave us scraps from the table and we didn't complain instead. We came up with fish, grits, politics, and hot water cornbread, and that's black. Black like we couldn't take it no more. The warrior in us began to fight. Black like Martin, Marcus, Malcolm, and Panthers for civil rights. Black like African works of art. Black like bus boycotts and Rosa Parks. Black like Noah's Ark. Black like Matthew. Black like Mark. Black like Luke. Black like John. Black like Jesus had feet of bronze. Black like the sky where my law was hung. Black like let thy will be done. Black the blood that was shed for my sins. My mama, my daddy, my cousins, my friends, even associates and strangers I'll never know. I understand he saved us from sin a long time ago. And since he made man in his image, and that's a fact, there's no doubt in my mind that all of us are black. But it's strange, some of us act like we don't have a clue. And it makes me ask the question, how black are you?
Fish, grits, and politics sure sound good to me. Fish, grits, and politics. Come on in, I'm sure you'll agree. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Fish, grits, and politics sure sound good to me. Fish, grits, and politics. Come on in, I'm sure you'll agree. Oh, yes.
Welcome back to Fish, Grits, and Politics. I'm your host, Marcus Davis, and I've taken a break from Mr. Prince to join our super chef, Michelle Wallace. Y'all give it up for the chef. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a little torn because sitting over there with the legend, that was hard. You know, sitting there with him and trying to keep my composure. But the other hard part was smelling all this goodness that you're whipping up over here for us. So tell us what you got for us today.
So today I am doing Texas redfish. Farm-raised redfish, just lightly pan-seared with a little smoked paprika, salt and pepper. I also have some smoked peri-peri sauce.
There go that peri-peri.
We're all going to learn what peri-peri means by the end of tonight.
Go ahead, tell us, what is peri-peri sauce?
So peri-peri sauce is an African derivative sauce. Actually, also Portuguese as well. Kind of depends on where you are.
So black like peri-peri, black like peri-peri. Okay, all right. Y'all see I did that, huh?
Bird's eye chili is the key ingredient. However, if you cannot find those, a good red Fresno chili will do, which is what I use today.
Cool. All right, so let's get it cooking up. We got the Texas redfish.
We're just gonna pan sear this off really quick, like.
We ain't frying it, huh?
We're not frying it.
Okay,
not
good,
today.
good. We got
not today.
We gotta stay healthy. Not today. We ain't frying no fish today. All right.
In keeping with the healthy, we're gonna do black-eyed peas. I know everybody's all familiar with the black-eyed peas with ham hocks and bacon and all of that. Today we just lighten it up and did a little salad with cucumbers, tomatoes. We got a light vinaigrette with lime juice, parsley, a little habanero pepper for heat. Super easy, super delicious.
A black-eyed pea salad.
Yeah, man. Who
there
knew?
It is. All right. So we got the redfish. We got the black-eyed pea salad.
And lastly, we got Swiss chard. So that you can sub that out for anything. If you like spinach, use spinach. I like Swiss chard. I put it with a little garlic oil, a little Parmesan cheese to finish this easy, healthy. It's good.
All right. So what is Swiss chard?
Swiss chard is a greenery, so it's not as bitter as your collard green would be, but it's also not as soft as your spinach would be.
So it's greens, y'all.
Greens, basically.
It ain't mustard. It ain't collards, but it's them.
But it's greens.
It's them Swiss greens. You gotta raise your pinky up when you eat the Swiss greens.
Yes.
All right. So we got the chard. We got the black-eyed pea salad. We got the Texas redfish.
Yeah.
All right.
That's easy, super easy.
I'm excited. We're going to flip this over. What are we going to do? So
see that color?
How long? Yeah, I do see
that
it. It's red. That's why it's called redfish.
That's why.
How long you been a chef?
I've been a chef since 2009. I actually quit my corporate job, went into culinary school, always cooked on the side. Since 2009, I would just kind of jump both feet in.
All right, cool. Well, I think this smell and the rest of the food is making me hungry. I know James said he was hungry, so we're going to have a little fellowship over some redfish, over some chard, and over some black eyed pea salad.
Yep.
So we'll be right back with you.
I'm sure you'll agree. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
The Breakfast Club, America's best breakfast.
Welcome back to Fish, Grits, and Politics. We're now at a moment where I like to call a moment of fellowship. You know, fellowship goes back a long way within every community, particularly in the African-American community, where we would get around the table with friends, with family, and we just share time with one another over a delicious meal. Chef Michelle was kind enough, generous enough to whip up the redfish, the black eyed pea salad, and the Swiss chard, you know, the greens that you eat with your pinky up. And so we're going to dig right into it. I want to say a moment of gratitude. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for the opportunity to fellowship. Definitely grateful for the food that will nourish our body. And I'm grateful for the folks that decided to chime in and share with us, all right? So y'all dig in, man, and we can continue to chop it up. James, I got something I wanted to ask you about, brother. I got something else we didn't get to. Because, you know, it's called Fish, Grits, and Politics.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a point in the book where you talk about how you had not been politically active, right?
Right.
There's a part where you talk about you weren't involved in politics, but there was a point in your life where you had to get involved in the political system because the political system was getting involved in your life, right?
Right.
And you reached out to a lady by the name of Maxine Waters, and you found that to be beneficial to you and to the progress you were trying to make. Tell me your view on politics and now, how you feel about the importance of, we're what, weeks away from a national election, a midterm. What's your take on the importance of getting involved in being civically engaged?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to get involved. I'm reminded of a good friend of mine by the name of Larry Hoover. You know what I mean? Back on the Ghetto Boys tape, you know, he was on to something, even way back in, I think, 1999 or something like that. And he mentioned that these people that call themselves gangsters need to vote. And it's a lot of people that call themselves gangsters that's not voting. So it's important to try and awaken the sleeping giants that's out there that's not participating in voting, because, you know, voting should be a lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I mean? It should be something that we do like we brush our teeth every day, you know, when the opportunity presents itself. So,
well, and I'll chime in on that. My mentor shared with me that everything you do is a political statement, from the ballot, from going to the polls and voting, to the flushing of the toilet. Right. And what she meant by that is that water that goes down your toilet. No, really, that's what she said, and I listened to it. And what she meant by it is the water that goes down the drain is governed by a municipality. It's governed by some entity where that person was either elected or appointed by an elected official.
That's heavy.
It was real heavy. And
in the midst of toilet water. That's pretty heavy, ain't it?
It is pretty heavy. Yeah. So I saw the other day. Oh wait, y'all registered to vote? Man, ain't this so good?
Registered to vote.
Hey, listen, this Swiss chard. Hey, are y'all getting it right?
Yeah.
Man, this
C-H-A-R-D.
All right. I'm challenging you to come up with a poem. Y'all stay tuned for Seven's next poem entitled Swiss Chard.
That's really going to stretch my repertoire.
All right. So we got an election coming up that's around the corner. That's going to be very, very important. I read the other day you said, you made a statement that said that you would like to, or you would accept an invitation to have a conversation with President Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Expound on that. And I thought that was a bold statement, considering the fact that a lot of African Americans that have decided to make that move have been ridiculed, have taken some flack behind it.
Right.
One, what made you decide to do that, considering the response that others had gotten?
Right.
Two, what is the value, the purpose you believe of doing so?
Well, you know, I noticed how a lot of people criticize Kanye, and, you know, maybe he deserved to be criticized on some of some of the things. You know what I mean? But there's one thing that really stuck out that meant something to me, and it's the area where a lot of guys that's got this astronomical amount of time where drugs are concerned and less violent crimes are concerned. You know, I really feel some way about that. You know, I think there's a lot of racism tied into the time that they have given a lot of our brothers and sisters, where, you know, the drug and less violent crimes are concerned. And if I had opportunity, you know what I mean, to speak with Trump, I will, in a different atmosphere.
In a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get him to come to our neighborhood. Maybe we can get him to come to Fifth Ward.
I love to say a poem for him.
Well, I was going to ask, man, you must have been reading my notes, because I was going to ask you, you know, would you, if you were invited to say a poem, if you were invited to cook, is that something that you would do?
Trumpty Dumpty. I'm sorry. I don't know. You know, it seems like, for me.
Right.
Now I understand Mr. Prince. I understand from Mr. Prince. For me, I don't think that I could survive the financial ramifications of that visit.
I got you.
Yeah, see, my little 10,000 followers, they out. You know what I mean? So, you know.
I got you. Now, and you know, what made me want to ask you that question, James, is the idea that, you know, I'm a big student of Dr. King's.
Right.
And I read the stories of Dr. King going to the White House to meet with presidents that necessarily didn't have our best interests at heart, and that were not willing to budge lest he stepped inside of 1600 Pennsylvania and argue, debate, and negotiate in order to get them to change their mind, or not change their mind, but to impress upon them the importance of changing their mind.
Right.
And so that's why I'd take me with him. It wouldn't be at the White House. I wouldn't be no photo shoots either. We'd have to be doing something a little bit different.
Right.
Hey, I got something I want to. Oh.
We didn't see what the chef was.
Oh yeah.
I would
Let's go.
respectfully decline.
Respectfully
I would
decline.
respectfully decline.
And
I just don't know if there's any. We've all had a lot to say to President Trump. I think we're all here on one accord, probably. And I don't know if there's anything that I could say or do that could have him understand. And so for me, I don't know how. I don't know if I could reach him.
You don't think this Swiss chart would change his
I don't think so. And I don't want to. I don't want to help him either. So.
I got it.
Put some good seasoning on the food.
Well, and man, she did put some great seasoning on the food. I got to
That
tell
may
you.
help him a little bit.
And this ain't no, this ain't no TV talk. Y'all, we hold it back because we really want to dig in. We're gonna get a chance to dig in because our time is almost up. Man, I am excited about tonight. I'm grateful for all of the folks that joined us by Facebook Live. I'm excited about all the folks that took time to come and join us here live in studio. And I'm super excited about our guests. Seven, thank you for that word that you spit, you know, on fire. Thank you for the fire, for the food. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And brother, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. Thank you for deciding to put pen to paper and inspire a little old boy like me from Fifth Ward, Texas.
Yeah.
All right? Y'all stay tuned.
It's Fish, Grits, and Politics. The Breakfast Club, America's best breakfast.
Hey, that's our time. I want to thank y'all for joining us here on Fish, Grits, and Politics. I appreciate you again for taking the time to fellowship with us. Again, I want to thank our guests for coming to join us. Also want to make sure that you get this last little bite that I want to share with you, okay? There's a lot of noise going on in our nation right now. Noise coming from the left, noise coming from the right. Every single thing that happens in Washington, D.C., we have to react to, we have to respond to. And as a result of our reacting and our responding and the noise, we're not hearing one another. We're not listening to one another. Even in our rightness, even in our wrongness, we're still not hearing or listening to one another. And in our busyness of being reactive, we are failing to be proactive. We're distracted. And instead of being distracted, I want to invite you to begin to build resilience. If you're concerned about what happens in D.C. or what happens in your state or in your city, begin to build resilience. Build resilience and move towards resolution. Because if you build resilience and build the fortress around you, it matters not who's on the left or who's on the right or what's coming down. You've made yourself and your community safe, and you've made it profitable, ready to prosper, ready to make progress. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to share this, thebreakfastclub.com, The Breakfast Club Facebook page. Share this with your friends. Fish, Grits, and Politics. Let's eat!